we live in such a fast-paced world. I felt like I was already behind at 22. My life is over. Like, what have I done? What are these choices? Like, what? I started in pageants. Oh, I can sing because I was this little diva and I was gonna take over and I had all these demands. Like, she was so fun to play. Really soak things in and relish in the process of what it is to be an actor and what it is to create a character in a story. I have anxiety, girl. Am I a millennial? I was like, maybe it would be so romantic if we had like a sexcapade around Europe. I can't get pregnant before this ayahuasca journey. 13 women vomiting together. It doesn't sound very like fun. And I looked in my full-length mirror for the first time. I was like, I am huge. I thought I had more time with the girl that I was before becoming a mother. You have to do the things that scare you. The unknown is where you grow the most.
Today's guest is a Los Angeles-based actor, writer, and creative who follows her curiosity wherever it leads, the brilliant Jodi Moore Lewis. Jodi is an artist who brings such depth, grace, and nuance to everything she touches. I had the privilege of directing her in my short film, Heard, and she is simply remarkable. You can see her in season 3 of Euphoria. Check out her work with the Blue Pen Theater Company, where she co-founded and is currently running their production of Tunnel of Love in Echo Park, or read her beautiful personal essays on her Substack, Love Notes. On top of it all, she's a brand new mom, bringing all of that rich, lived experience into her work with a deep desire to make people feel less alone. Today, we're diving into creativity, motherhood, and staying present through it all. Jodi, welcome to the show.
Well, now I'm crying. I did not type all of that to you.
Well, yeah, that's the funny. And when you're like, oh, I'll send it to you, I was like, oh, no, this is just for me to reference what to say, Jodi. I was like,
well, that was very sweet.
It's all true. And I usually, it is an emotional thing because usually people aren't used to having people say, amazing things about them. And so I'm glad I get to kickstart it like that.
Yes.
Anyways, Jodi, where are you born in this world?
I was born.
I worded it wrong. Where were you born in this world?
Raleigh, North Carolina.
By the way, it's such a perfect actor thing. Like, you always, if someone messes up a line, you have to, like, play it off. And
true. It's just, like, embedded in me, I guess.
Even though I was grammatically incorrect, you were like, I'm going to go with this. Okay, so you were born in Raleigh, North Carolina?
Yes, Raleigh.
Raleigh.
Rah.
Sorry, I even miscorrected.
It cracks me up. People do it all the time.
I find it hard. So how do you say it?
Raleigh.
And I said Raleigh.
I think you said Raleigh.
Raleigh.
Or that's what I heard.
But that's, I think, the thing is I think I'm saying Raleigh, but it is because you're from there. You're like, no, it's Raleigh.
Yeah,
Raleigh.
Named after Sir Walter Raleigh.
Oh, see? There we go. Now, who is Sir Walter Raleigh? Raleigh. Even I can't do it there. Raleigh.
You know what? We learned about him, and he's part of our history and founding, but that's like... In my mama brain, not important anymore, so it's not been stored.
Understandable.
Yeah.
And did you love growing up there?
I really did. So I was born in Raleigh, but I'm from a suburb.
Okay.
See if you can say this. Fuquay Varina.
Fuquay Riva. Arriva.
Fuquay Varina. It used to be two separate towns.
Yes.
Fuquay Springs and Varina Hill. I could be, once again, making this history up.
Listen,
and
I don't think anyone's going to go check it, so you're fine.
Yeah.
And those two towns joined.
And made Fuquay Varina. So that's where I lived my entire life.
How do you spell Fuquay?
Fuquay. That was like what I did in high school. Fuquay. And then dash Varina, Varina.
Okay.
Yes. So I grew up there.
And what was childhood like in there?
So I thought I was from a super small town. I mean, it's North Carolina, it's the South. Now Raleigh is booming, so when I go back, it's changed so much, the whole area.
Yeah.
But I will say it was very spacious. I was always outside. We went to the lake a lot. My family and I, we just had so much fun together. I've been reminiscing a lot about it, becoming a mother, and what kind of childhood am I able to give to Remy.
Yeah.
And I just think about all the fun like my family and I had. Like we always went camping, like I said, to the lake, or just being outside, listening to bluegrass and just running around and pretending I was in The Wizard of Oz.
I love that. So it was The Wizard of Oz that you'd pretend you were in. Did you
Yes.
pretend you were Dorothy?
I was 100% Dorothy.
And did you walk around with a stuffed dog animal or a real dog?
We did not have a real dog. I was a cat lady from the beginning. I did at one point. I remember we went to a craft store.
Yeah.
I took a basket off the shelf without her knowing. And we left the store without paying for the basket. And the person like ran out and she had to purchase my basket because it was my Dorothy basket.
Of course.
So I did have a basket.
Okay.
But no dog. Maybe
Just
I had
the
a stuffed animal. But my parents did have to skip around with me.
Okay.
So
and was one of them like a scarecrow, lion? Did you imagine?
Yes, my dad was the scarecrow. My mom was the lion. And then my sister, I'm the oldest, and her belly was the Tin Man.
Stop.
She always got the short end of the stick, my sister. I feel.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
How many siblings do you have?
Just her.
And you said she's younger or older?
She's younger.
3
years.
3 years younger.
Yeah.
And she was the Tin Man.
She was the Tin Man. She had her little heart inside my mama's belly, you know?
Oh, was she in? Wait, explain. So what do you mean by that?
Before she was born, we would play Wizard of Oz.
Got it.
She was just in my mom's belly. So.
Now it makes sense. I was like, wait a second. Oh, because her heart. I get it.
Yeah.
I love that though. That was actually so smart of you to come up with that at that age.
You know what? I didn't think about it until right now, but I was a pretty smart kid, huh?
Yeah, it makes sense. You're still smart now. So it sounds like you had a beautiful childhood. What did you do at the lake? Did you guys go boating or anything like that?
Yeah, we had a boat and we would go inner tubing and I learned how to ski. I was so close learning how to slalom, which is like the one ski.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know, maybe I got too cool to hang out with my parents. And I remember at some point we just stopped going to the lake together. And so I never learned how to slalom. I don't know if I'd be able to pick it back up. A lot of inner tubing.
Yeah.
My dad would wakeboard and we would just dock our boat and eat sandwiches and Lay's potato chips. It was a fabulous time.
So bizarre, Jodi. We had very similar childhoods, which is just unique to me because, I don't know. I just didn't realize that there was that similar. So
You have fond memories of the lake
I
too?
I do. And the sandwiches and everything that's coming back to me and the tubing and the wakeboarding. Yeah. Were your parents from North Carolina as well?
My dad is from Wilson, so Wilson, but you pronounce it with the T.
Okay.
That's the southern way. And my mom is from Virginia, a small town called Danville.
And how did they meet?
So they met. It's a little scandalous.
Oh, but I love scandals. Okay, tell me.
So my mom was previously married.
Okay.
At 18, my grandpa was like, you can go to college or get married. And she chose love, which didn't work out. And she met my dad. Yeah. So at the time, she was working at a Winn-Dixie grocery store. She was managing it. And my dad is an electrician still to this day. And he was changing the light bulb, and he just changed it in the right way. And even though my mom was like, we did not have an affair, I think it's more fun. And I also think she's denying it, that they had an affair. Because my dad said that he definitely got in a fight with this other gentleman who I've not had the pleasure to meet in my life, but her ex. Yeah. So that's how they met, and then they fell in love, and then here I am.
Been together since.
Together since.
How long have you been married for?
Oh my goodness, I should know this.
It's okay. Give me a rough number.
Let's just say 40 years. 41 or 42, because they got married a bit before they even had me. Like, they took their time.
Oh my gosh, they kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
Wow. And do you look up to them?
I do in some ways. They fiercely love my sister and I. Mm-hmm. They sacrificed a lot for us both. Like, my dad grew up on a tobacco farm. Like, my grandma and grandpa on my Moore side, like, lived in a trailer, like, when I went to go visit them.
Yeah.
So he really, like, built his life up from nothing. My mom just moving to North Carolina and not really knowing anyone. And I'm so grateful to have grown up in Raleigh. Like, I got to meet, it was like a bigger city than where Danville is, where my cousins and everyone grew up. Just the thought of what they put into giving our family and wanting to provide for my sister and I feel like was very, very special, because I think it made me have a more trusting outlook on other humans and friendships and what I get to do. Yeah. They gave that to me as like a gift that I don't think they necessarily gave themselves.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really, but that's kind of what you would hope parents do, right? Being that you are a mother now, you're hoping, I'm assuming. Do you want to do that for your child too, to give them even more?
Of course. Of course. Like, I feel like I continue to find out a lot about myself. I would love to start Remy off on a different footing. I think being from the South, I did grow up in those ways of how a lady should be and like what a good girl is and like politeness. And this is not to dock my parents by all means. It's just the society that I grew up in.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, that's actually prohibiting me from making choices that are more for myself than for others. I kind of grew up to be this like people pleaser of a woman, and I'm still trying to untangle that from myself.
Do you feel like that's something that just women as general are expected to be more people pleasers, that we're the caregivers and things like that, regardless of where you're born?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think for sure, because if not, you're like labeled emotional or like, you know, a little crazy, or are you on your period, or like, you know, like there used to be, I feel like, jokes about that. And it's like, no, like we are, yes, we have hormones, and I've definitely been able to see that side of it with pregnancy and motherhood. Like there's a beauty to it. Like we're able to express it and not hold on to it. And then I think when you hold on to it, you make choices that necessarily aren't aligned with who you are and what you actually want.
It's so true. It's a beautiful way to put it too, is because when you are holding on to those emotions, so basically you're giving yourself the freedom to say, I'm going to feel what I instinctively want to feel, regardless of how I'm perceived.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm still learning, I will say, but
Of course.
yes, I think that defined a lot of my childhood, and when doing like inner child work as an adult, I would like to foster, especially raising a boy, all the emotions in him, so he can feel comfortable expressing however he wants to express. I think that men should have that in them too.
It's true. It's true. And a lot of times I feel like, would you say, now that you're seeing other parents with kids too, is it kind of gets pushed down in boys. Like you're not supposed to feel your emotions. And if you are, like, suck it up. Like it's even more suck it up. Women, it's don't be crazy. Men, it feels like, no, don't show weakness. Basically, I guess it's weakness for both. It's what it's kind of. It's great though. We're listen, I'm going through the same, healing the inner child and stuff like that. But it sounds like all in all, you had a great childhood. But you're also having to learn how to untrain yourself of not just childhood stuff that you were trained, but also societal pressures that are put on us.
Yeah.
At what age did you come to California right away? What was your okay, wait, we're gonna take it even back.
I tangent a lot.
So do I. It's great. But it was a fantastic tangent. So childhood in North Carolina, I'm not going to say the town you were from, but at what point, you obviously were in love with the Wizard of Oz, walking around with your little basket. But did you always know you wanted to be an actress? Was that something that was always in you from a young age?
It wasn't acting per se.
Okay.
It was singing was my first love. I loved singing, and that's kind of how I found my way into performing and enjoying it, enjoying being in front of the spotlight and making people smile and laugh or whatever they wanted to feel. And I think that's what The Wizard of Oz brought, because it was a musical. I went into musical theater pretty early.
How old?
Well, let me back up a little bit. I started in pageants, which I also think has a little bit to do with my inner child wound. But
Jodi, this is just, Jodi, I did pageants.
Oh my God, we are the same person.
It's so weird. My dad was an electrician.
Wait, what?
I was trying to avoid the electrician because, like, it's not about you, Danielle, it's not about you. And then the fact that you then said pageants, like, okay.
Wow. Okay, girl. We're just seeing each other right now.
This is insane. I'm sorry. Okay, so you started off as pageants.
Yeah, I did pageants.
How old?
I think I started at like 3.
Oh, wow. No, younger than me. Okay. Yeah.
I did it really young. I didn't go very long. Like at 5, the last one was 1994, Tiny Miss North Carolina. I won, which was like a big deal because it was like the big pageant for the state.
Yeah.
I don't really know fully what happened, but I know I just wasn't enjoying it, like pageants.
Yeah.
I liked performing, though. It got me into talent. I would sing The Little Mermaid, Part of Your World. That was my song.
That's not an easy song to sing.
Yeah, apparently. People were like, I can't believe she knows all these words. I kind of ended up getting a big head, I think, about it, where I was like, oh, I can sing. I'm just going to sing. All I want to do is sing. I don't need to like be in a dress and prove it otherwise.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it after 5. So I guess I did it for 2 whole years, which is an eternity at that age.
Yeah.
It feels like a whole lifetime. I started doing just getting into dance. And then I remember auditioning when I was 8 for like my first professional musical theater in the area, in the Raleigh area. The women there were like concerned with my voice. my vocal cords because I had a raspy voice. So
Okay.
I just sang. I never took lessons.
Got it.
They wanted me to get my voice checked out because they were concerned about the way I was singing.
Yeah.
And I remember, when you're 8 years old, you just feel, oh, I'm broken. I actually can't do the thing that I love. And I was doing all the time.
Oh, okay.
And it turned out I had nodules, which is a very common thing for singers.
Okay.
But I was singing from here and not from my gut, not from my diaphragm.
Is that what causes the nodules if you're singing from your throat versus your gut?
Because you are stressing your vocal cords and they're just like banging together like this. And the nodes are like bumps that create like that raspiness.
Got it.
You can really harm your vocal cords. So
Okay.
in hindsight,
Yeah.
it was a beautiful thing that they found out that I had this issue
Mm-hmm.
and I needed to redirect even how I spoke. So I went to like voice therapy,
Wow.
speech therapy, and I ended up getting surgery on my vocal cords to see if it was a cyst that they could surgically remove. But it ended up being nodes. And
Okay.
the only way to remove them was to go on vocal rest, which how do you tell a child to go to just stop talking for a bit?
How long does it take for them usually to heal?
I guess it depends on the severity of it.
That makes sense.
I did not go on vocal rest, I will tell you.
You're like, I actually don't know because I never did. Okay.
Yeah, well, I did in 8th grade, so it took me a few years.
Got it.
It's really funny. Like, I went to church a lot. I only say it's funny because I'm just like not a very religious person.
Yeah.
But that was where like I actually got to still do some musicals. Like we would do our spring and like Christmas performance for everyone.
Yep.
And in 5th grade, I didn't have to sing, I remember, because I was this little diva who came in and took over we were doing the nativity scene and I wanted to play Mary. And I was going to take over and I had all these demands. Like she was so fun to play. So I actually was just acting. It wasn't like musicals.
Yeah.
But I remember being like, oh, I don't have to sing, so that's good because I'm like broken. Those little tiny narratives you tell yourself.
Yeah.
That you don't really realize make such a difference when you get older. So I played her, Sophia. She was so much fun. But when I got into middle school, I really enjoyed being in chorus and singing again. I never took care of my voice. I still just did it. And I also didn't have very many friends who were into it as much as I was. Okay. So I always kind of like was singled out in chorus, which felt good. And I'm like, okay, yeah, so I'll sing the solo and whatever.
Yeah.
I remember 7th grade, I played Cinderella. But because I couldn't hit the notes, my chorus teacher because of my voice and the restraints on my voice, she did the entire musical based on my alto singing voice, which was kind of cool. But I think in the end, I was kind of upset that I couldn't hit the high notes that I wanted to hit. And that's why in 8th grade, I went on vocal rest finally.
Got it. So were you
Sorry, that was a long...
It wasn't. No, not at all. What I'm picking up on is you were always an overachiever because you kind of had this stubbornness of like, I'm going to do it regardless until finally you were like, oh, I'm being, I can't do this. But you were an overachiever in the sense that you're like, I want to do every play. I want to take every role. I want to do the best I can do at it. But you also held yourself to such a high standard that when you couldn't hit those notes, you were upset with yourself instead of just going like, oh, it's my voice. Like I have this limitation. like you had said when you were a little kid being like, oh, something's wrong with me versus, oh no, this is just something that happens to anybody who would be singing with this part of their voice.
Yeah, no, that's totally, I think, through my little eyes.
You're like, I'm doing it right now. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I just feel for us because it's like, at that age, I think I can relate to a lot of those things too. Is like, I feel for the pressure you put on yourself. It's interesting. Going back to the pageants, like, how did you get into that? Did your mom get you into it?
I think 100% my mom just put me into it. I think she was like, this is what we do. And you won some savings bonds. Okay. I actually cashed them recently. And a lot of them were from pageant wins.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
so
amazing.
It was a nice, cash grab, I guess. I don't know her reasoning behind it, but it did feel like, if I were to speak for her, this is just what you do with young ladies. And she never really had that opportunity for herself. And
got it.
I think that's why she put me in them. But once again, I found my love for singing.
Were you also a child that kind of already leaned into that? Were you kind of like a bigger personality at a young age? Yeah. So it wasn't like you were some shy child that was being forced to do something. Like you were what I'm picking up on is you had that personality.
Oh, yeah.
Put me on stage.
100%.
So you finally go on vocal rest when you're in 8th grade. And vocal rest means talking as well, singing, talking. How does that work?
Nothing. You're not supposed to talk or anything. And actually whispering is like the worst thing you can do.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it's like way more harsh on your vocal cords.
Wow.
No talking, no singing. I had some slip ups. I think I might have lasted 3 weeks though. I think they wanted me to do a total of like 8 weeks to see what could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard when you're young, you know? And you just want to like talk. And I remember when I finally spoke though, even after like 3 weeks, I sounded like I had helium in my voice because
Really?
Yeah, it was insane. And I remember not auditioning. I did not do that musical.
Okay.
I don't exactly know why I gave up, or maybe I talked myself out of it because I didn't stick to it. I'm not exactly sure, but
What do you mean? What do you mean about this? Stick to what? Theater at that point?
stick to my vocal rest. I don't know if it was like a punishment looking back on it, but yeah, I didn't do, what was that play? I was going to be Mona Monroe. It was something about New York, I think.
But that was the one that you just said.
Yeah, I think I just decided not to do it.
Not to do the play.
Not to do it, yeah.
Okay.
Not to even audition. Yeah.
And then, so what happened after that? Did you stop with theater for a while and music?
No, I think I took a year off. I became a cheerleader, which is horrible for your voice.
I was going to say.
Oh my gosh,
And
I don't know why.
What made you don't know why you wanted to be a cheerleader?
I think because like I said, I didn't have a lot of friends who were interested in the arts.
Yeah.
And I felt like an outsider. And I was very impressionable as a young kid.
Who isn't?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But when you hear about like those stories where they just like didn't care that they were like not cool and then like now they're so cool, like, you know what I mean?
I just wonder if that's ever true. Like, I feel like they just had a level of like, I want to believe at least that those people that were like okay with not being cool were just like, well, I mean, I don't know. They still must have had some anxiety around.
Probably, yeah, you're right.
And again,
adolescence is all of that.
And by what's not cool, I mean just like what at the time is considered not cool or cool. Like everything goes in waves. Or maybe they just had really cool parents at home and so like, I don't care about the popular kids at school. I mean,
yeah.
But I get what you mean. You're impressionable and we always want to fit into like a clique, a group. It's hard to be the person that's kind of on the outskirts being like, I like this thing over here, but no one else wants to do it with me. So you join the cheer squad. At the school.
I did cheerleading. It terrified me. I was a flyer and I sucked because I was so scared to fall. And I don't know why I did it.
And did you ever fall?
I did in 9th grade. I still cheered and I broke my ankle like right before high school started.
No.
Yeah. And so I started high school on crutches. Yeah.
And was that it for cheerleading or did you continue cheerleading all throughout high school?
I cheered through my junior year. And then finally I was like, what am I doing? Well, so some girls created a dance team. And I was like, I want to do the dance team instead.
Yeah.
And so I did the dance team senior year.
And did you go back to doing any theater in the meantime?
Yes. So yeah, going back to that, we had this really amazing thing called Kids on Broadway in Raleigh. Like
That's so smart.
And I had my like people and one of my close friends who I knew through church, actually, we grew up together, Kristen LaBianca, hey girl. She also really enjoyed musical theater. She also has an insane singing voice. Mm-hmm. So we would drive all the way to North Raleigh. So it's like a 30-minute drive every day to go rehearse. And we would rehearse with all these people from around the county.
Yeah.
And we would put on a show. And I did chess and I did Tick Tick Boom and Aida. And that was so much fun. And it was like on the professional level.
Yeah.
And we would perform at like the big auditorium in Raleigh. So that was really, really fun.
And you were never scared.
I wouldn't say I was never scared, but I definitely felt more fearless than I do now.
Why is that? Why is it?
I don't know, Danielle. I don't know. Why is it that you get more tight when you get older?
I just did a 6-week intensive in New York and I just am trying to figure that out because going to like even just a school, I had so much fun. Whereas like when you're auditioning and like working, you lose a little bit of the fun. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what part of it was, is when you're younger, it really is just fun. And when it becomes, oh, this is my livelihood, but also this is something I loved and I want them to hire me and accept me. I don't know what it is, but I do think that there's, I don't know, maybe it's just our brains aren't fully formed yet. Maybe the truth is a non-fully formed brain just gives us the freedom to not think about the things that once it's formed, we think of.
Yeah, the weight of the world.
Seriously. And then we spend like our 20s like fully having the weight of the world in our heads until we get into our, I don't know when it's going to happen.
I know, I'm like,
60s,
I know freedom
70s.
is there again.
But when?
When is it?
I look at like 70-year-old women, I was like, is it now? 50-year-old women, I was like, what about, has anything? Any clarity? Because yeah, our brains are pretty powerful things, but when you were young, it's like, it feels like for you were led by your imagination and your curiosity and your just passion to love performing.
Yeah.
Which is so beautiful. So you did this.
Yeah.
You went on stage fearlessly.
Yes.
And where did that lead to?
Well, it led to college, where it's interesting that I've had this like, now that like we're discussing it again, I haven't like brought up all of these things, this push and pull with it the entire time. Because when I went to college, I remember back to middle school, my chorus teacher, we would go to Wilmington. I remember we toured Screen Gym Studios. Dawson's Creek was
Filming there.
Yeah. Wilmington was like huge for that. And it was so cool. And I was like, I'm going to go to UNCW and then I can like be near. I don't know necessarily, I still never saw myself as like an actor. I still wanted to be in musical theater at the time. But I knew like Wilmington was calling me, like to be near film or TV or some sort of artistic realm
where it was happening.
Where it was happening.
Yeah.
And then when college came around, I don't know what happened, but I think I just had a come to Jesus moment where I was like, we got to be real. Like the reality is I don't have the voice that can have the longevity on Broadway. You know, you're doing like so many shows. It's not just like you're working all this time and then you have like a weekend of performances and then you're done. Like you need to like be able to like have the healthy voice.
Yeah.
And I think I was like, you know what? I'm going to be normal and I'm going to go get the full college experience and figure out what else I want to do. And so I went to North Carolina State, go Pack. I don't know why I always look at the camera when I have a thing to say.
It's fantastic. People do it all the time.
Okay,
this
great.
one person did shout outs every time. And she's like, shout out Megan, shout out Dan, shout out. Like, it was great. So no, please, anytime you want.
Fabulous. I will do my shout out.
So wait, which one was this? What is it?
Wolfpack.
Wolfpack. And what is the school?
North Carolina State.
Okay.
Yes.
And this is in Wilmington, I'm assuming.
No, sorry, this is in Raleigh.
Okay.
So I stayed, it wasn't like to be close to home, but like in Raleigh, we have the triangle. So it's Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill. So we have UNC Chapel Hill, we have Duke, and then we have NC State. So like we have 3 really major schools right there. And I ended up going to NC State and I joined the dance team. I decided to study public relations and marketing. And I always envisioned myself to be still in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'll just be behind the scenes. That was how I saw myself. I always knew I was going to be touching it. But I was like, oh, maybe I'm just not in front of the camera. I'm behind the camera in this capacity.
Where do you think that came from? That kind of like, you said there's a push and pull, but where did that moment go where you were like, oh no, I'll just be behind the scenes?
To be quite honest, I think there was the reality. I think that's the full frontal cortex started forming. Like the reality of like, I don't think I am good enough. I think I started feeling that. I also had a very narrow view on what the entertainment industry was.
Okay.
Like I still hadn't discovered, oh, I could just try acting, because that did come a little bit later where I was like, oh, well, I can still talk, which I'll get to. I think also looking back on even like when I was 8 and being told like, oh, there's something wrong with her voice, let's get her voice checked out. I didn't understand like, oh, these things can be fixed. You just have to like find your foundation of it in order to like allow it to be bloomed to its full capacity.
Yeah.
I remember everything being thrown around at that time. Like they had God-given talent, where I think I just felt like you were blessed with this talent and that's what happened. Like you didn't have to like work at it in a way. Like you just innately had it.
Yeah.
And which is very, very wrong.
And did you see people that you looked at that they just had it? Were you comparing yourself or?
I think so.
Okay.
I think 100%. And I feel like that was the narrative being thrown around then. And so I think I carried that with me.
Yeah.
And it was just very black and white. There was no nuance to it.
Yeah.
until I did college. I found, which is great. Like my now husband and I connected, and I have some of my best friends that I met in college, and we're still really close to this day. My 7. Shout out.
Is there 7 of you guys?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah. 7 of us.
I love you so much.
So like it was a great experience.
Yeah.
And then I remember there was this, once again, an open call for Glee, because I was like obsessed with Glee.
Yeah.
I was like, might as well just put myself on tape for this.
Yeah.
And I had not warmed up my voice. I had not sang in the longest time, but I fell in love with, like I did not get cast in Glee, but I just fell in love with it again. And I think that's planted the seed where I got back into dance classes and just exploring my creativity again.
It sparked that in you.
It sparked that in me. Still on the side, I worked in fashion right after college for this small little accessory line in Raleigh.
Doing PR and marketing for them?
Ish, more so sales, but it was such a small company that I would do like press releases and like product placement in magazines, but mostly because we needed to make money, we had to sell the product. But it was really cool because I got to travel across America. We were at the New York markets a lot. I was in New York a lot.
Oh, fantastic.
And then I got to go to India and help design one of the collections. Like I said, small company where we were also like designing, and I didn't even go to school for textiles and design.
Well, that was what's so interesting. It was like, okay, doing theater, singing, acting, and then dance, and then or cheerleading, and then dance, and then PR and marketing to fashion and sales and traveling the world.
I can't even keep up.
But that's what's so beautiful about life when you look back on it, you're like, and you're so young. It's like, look at the life you've lived so far.
True.
Ever before that, had you ever traveled internationally with your family?
No.
Were you scared? Were you nervous?
Yeah. Oh, well, I did study abroad in college for a summer.
Where did you go?
In France. I
Whereabouts
studied in
in
Lille,
France?
in the northern border. It was at the
Wow.
time, it might still be the 4th largest city in France.
Okay.
So we built in like a full week in Paris.
Yeah.
And I always had this desire to go to France.
Yeah.
In my freshman year of high school, I was going to be a foreign exchange student. My parents, they had to sign if I was allowed to have wine at like 14, because in France, like they have wine at dinner. And my mom was like, we're not going to sign that. And I was like, okay, I just want to go to France. But it ended up, the program got shut down because that was right after 9/11. I think that was like a reason they just didn't want to like send kids abroad at that time.
Yeah. No, that makes
But I got to go to college. It was really cool being in Lille because at the time,
And
like,
you could drink wine.
and I definitely had lots of wine. But I studied French and French cinema, which was really cool. And also I remember we had this class called Intercultural Communications, because your program is with people from all over the world.
Okay.
Like there was a bunch of us from NC State that were there.
Okay.
Like we had people from Brazil and Germany and, well, Canada at the time felt very far, but like Canada and China and just all over the world. And we talked about different cultures and how we all communicate together. And like what might be deemed rude in one culture actually is like very celebratory in this other culture. And it was so eye-opening.
Mm-hmm.
And that really, I think, just made me want to take in as much of the world as possible.
Yeah.
And just really understand where we all come from really does mold who we are and like our point of view on life. And I think it really didn't click for me until that class in Lille.
You're still so young then.
Yeah.
I mean, how great to have it at such a young age, because 100%, it's one of my favorite things about traveling is immersing yourself in cultures and even being able to be naive to go, oh, this is offensive in this culture, or this is celebrated in this culture. And because when you're in your own bubble of the United States or wherever your country is, you only really know the way that your country, your town, your community looks at things.
Yeah.
And it really does open your mind to be like, oh, there's a different way to look at this than the way I thought. I just love that. So I love that you got that at a young age. Oh, God, I love that.
Yeah.
So, and you learned French. Do you still speak French today?
Un peu. Very little. Well, so I went to France again for the first time since then in 2024. We had a wedding in Sweden and we decided to go to Paris. It was easy to pick back up. And it was funny, the difference in my two France experiences, because in 2009 Paris, like they did not want to speak French to me at all. They were just like stupid American. I'd be like, oh, bonjour, je prends un croissant. They're like €3. And then this time I would practice and they would speak French to me back, and then I'd be like, oh, I can't keep up. I'm sorry, I just was practicing. And people were just so much more open to you trying to be French. And I guess it could be like a generational thing. I also probably was like a young and not appreciative American of like being in another country, you know?
I don't
know.
To yourself. I think you're younger. It was your first time experiencing another culture. But also, too, I do think that travel is something that our generation is getting to do more of.
Yes.
It was really not attainable as much for our parents. It was expensive. There weren't as many flights. Like, it just wasn't something that I think a lot of people did. Like you said, every weekend was really like going to the lake. You didn't travel internationally. If you traveled, you went and saw like grandma and grandpa or like went to Disney World in Florida or something. Like
that is 100% what we did.
Do you know what I mean? Like that is just what, so the idea of traveling internationally, I get that for our generation, our parents' generation was just not something, it was too expensive.
Yeah.
And it's still not cheap by any means, but you can really travel the world now for a good price. And I think if you have that curiosity, which you do, it made you go, I want to travel the world. But of course, your experience the first time and second time is going to be so different. But I'm very happy to hear that the French, which we have a lot of French people that watch the show.
Oh, yay! Bonjour.
That they're very now say like, oh, yes, we'll speak French with you and we'll accept you, stupid American.
Yeah, I know.
I still think their brain goes, you stupid American.
Yeah, probably. But the biggest compliment I got was in line at Zara, and this.
Oh, Zara in France.
I still had like a better Southern accent then. It just kind of naturally disappeared. One of the Parisian girls said she loved my accent, and I was like, oh, you like my accent? I love your accent.
Yeah.
But in Lille, because it was a smaller town, I really had to practice my French. Like I remember going to the grocery store to get like snacks for my dorm room, and they didn't know English.
Yeah.
And now I think it's a little easier with our phones to like translate and get around. I think that also has helped maybe travel be more comfortable for some people who might not have wanted to do that. But I'm like, when I was there was no FaceTime. Like we Skyped. Like I would Skype with my parents or like Facebook message because there was like not text internationally then.
Because it would cost so much. But also,
and I got around.
Google Maps.
Oh, yeah.
Like back in the day, you'd have to go on MapQuest, right? And like print it out if you wanted to take it with you.
So true.
And it's like now, if you're lost in a town somewhere in the middle of France, you plug it into your phone, you find your way out.
You do.
Like so much just changed that has made it accessible.
Like I still remember like when I went to New York for the first time and I was working for that company.
Yeah.
I had the app. Like this was like early iPhone. Or it could have been on my BlackBerry. Actually, I had a BlackBerry.
I miss the BlackBerry.
Yeah, I know. On a BBM. But it was called Hop Stop, and it would help you take the trains, the subway. And it would just like tell you exactly what to do and what corner to like exit. I would always exit the wrong northwest, north. I couldn't
Still
understand
today.
that. Yeah,
Today.
still to this. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go and walk the block.
I still do the same thing. Okay.
But now you get it on your Apple. There was Hop Stop. I think that's what it was called, and that's how I would get around New York.
You're a lover of international travel now.
Yes.
You get to go to India. What was that like? And how old were you exactly?
I was 21.
Okay. What was that like?
Wild. It was really cool. We got to go to our supplier's house, and we had like a traditional Indian vegetarian dinner because she was vegetarian, and there was like monkeys everywhere.
Sounds so good.
We had a lot of mango lassis. We had like a driver to just take us everywhere and show us the cool spots. And I remember we met with like a new supplier for like a different kind of fabric that we were looking at. And they were like, we got you lunch. We were like, amazing. And it was Pizza Hut. And at the time, I was kind of like, oh, it'd be nice to have something other than curry because it's curry for everything.
Got it.
Which I love Indian food. But,
Same.
And then it ended up being like a chicken curry Pizza Hut pizza. And I was like, okay, can't get away from it. Yeah, but we were there for, I think, like 10 days and just working and eating. And we went to like this underground market. That was really cool. I still have this elephant pillow that I got, and it was really beautiful.
Did you feel like, because your parents, I'm assuming, didn't travel like this. So did they want to travel when they saw you traveling? Or was there any sort of kind of ripple effect? Not
necessarily, honestly. Like even now, like I think they're interested in it, but I think it's just not a priority for them where it is for me.
So fascinating generationally though. I see that and I just always am so fascinated by it.
Yeah, there's just a comfort I think for them. Like being at home and doing their thing.
Which I get too. I mean, of course, there's always a comfortability about knowing your surroundings and not having to go to another country and learn a bunch of new things.
Yeah.
But so you were doing all this. You went India, you came back to North Carolina, we're continuing to work. Where did you go from there?
Yeah, so
Like, how did you get back into? So you auditioned for Glee while you were with was that while you were with the jewelry company?
it was either at the very beginning of that time or right before, but it was around that time.
That you auditioned for Glee.
Yeah.
And then you knew, I want to keep doing this.
I allowed myself to like play with it a little bit more on the side.
Yeah.
And then I remember being in a hotel room on the road watching like the Kids' Choice Awards or something, or People's Choice Awards. I don't know. Emma Stone was accepting the Trailblazer Award.
Oh my gosh.
And I felt like I kind of grew up with Emma Stone in a way. And I just remember bawling my eyes out. And I was like, I never gave myself the chance. Like, why can't I still do it? I was like, my life is over. Like, what have I done? What are these choices? Like, what? So dramatic. Hence the actor in me, right? I was like, you know what? I never tried acting. I never just like acted.
Yeah.
And North Carolina was still booming with the industry at the time still.
Yeah.
So I took like an acting class, did like an improv and like a scene study. And like immediately I was like, I love this. Like I can still talk. Like just because I can't sing, I might still have nodules. Like I went to an ENT and like they checked my nodes and they were definitely still there, but a lot healthier.
Wow. Okay.
And I think to this day, probably because I don't sing as much, I don't put a lot of strain on them. That I actually don't have as much of a raspy voice as I used to.
But how interesting that that's what it is. It's these nodules that cause that raspy voice.
Yeah, which was really cool.
I was gonna say
like,
that
it actually like was great for acting. It's a cool voice.
Yeah,
but
it didn't allow you to sing.
Didn't allow me to sing.
So keep going.
So I, for some reason, I had always been drawn to California. Like even from like Full House and Saved by the Bell. I don't know. Like I just always saw myself in California. But I still had this like narrow mind about the industry. I didn't really know much about it. We didn't have social media where like you can find all this information. I mean, we had Google, but I didn't really like know. But I just knew I was like, I have to get out of my comfort zone. I got to leave North Carolina. And I felt like California was the way to go. I felt too late to get into theater at the time in New York. See, I don't know where my brain was. I just felt like I was behind. And so I was like, I need to just go straight into like film and TV and like learn everything about it.
Yeah.
And that was like where my mind was. And that's what brought me to LA. And I quit my job and moved out here in 2012.
But that takes a lot of bravery.
Yeah.
Were you nervous?
Yes.
I just want to make sure.
So excited.
Yeah.
It was like a brand new start. All my friends and my family, everyone was so excited for me.
Okay, so they were supportive.
They were very supportive. I remember my mom being like, finally, like you're doing this for yourself again.
Good job, Mom.
And I was like, yeah. I came out here and I immediately started studying.
Yeah.
And trying to learn everything I could about acting and the form of it. And it was specifically for film and TV. I didn't really read a lot of plays or, get into theater. And it's funny because that's where my heart is right now. I just absorbed and I just constantly studied. And I jumped around to a few classes until like I felt like I found like a home for a bit and then studied there for a while. And then just continued to meet other actors and filmmakers and just kind of expanded my trajectory of what that could look like and really find community in LA, which I did. I still have like really amazing friends out here that I don't feel like everyone necessarily finds in Los Angeles.
It's hard to find in Los Angeles. And to clarify, are these friends that are also in the theater community or that also love acting?
Yeah, both.
It's very hard to find that in LA because LA, comparable to New York, the theater scene is so drastically smaller compared to New York that it's just hard to find that. So it's beautiful that you found it. I mean, I've been born and raised here my whole life. I didn't do the theater route. I did more of the TV and film. But even I'm having this desire to be like, because there is something about live performance. I think, as you know, when we're on set, you get 3 takes or so and you do something and then you're done and you're like, wait, that's it. Or something didn't go great, but they're like, don't worry, it'll be you will edit it. It's like you sometimes don't get what you feel in theater, which is to give a performance from start to finish that can either feel great or feel like I screwed up today. So it makes sense that you were drawn to that and that you're still drawn to that. But I really admire you for the bravery it took to come out to California, but also the fact that you found your community and you dove into like, I'm going to learn everything I can. Did you take certain acting classes, certain techniques? Like when you came out here, what were some of those things?
I remember taking this kind of like intensive, the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, I think that's what it was called. And it was a bunch of different teachers. So like different techniques with like on camera specifically or comedy. And then I went to this place called Actors Comedy Studio because I felt like comedy is really difficult. And if you can master comedy, I feel like you can kind of master anything.
So true.
It just doesn't get looked at the same necessarily as dramatic film or television. And so I studied there for a bit.
Yeah.
Knew I'd need it to like not just be in this one niche. Like it was like a lot of sitcom. Then I studied at John Rosenfeld Studio. And that's really where I found my people. Like I'm still like best friends with a lot of them to this day. We did everything there.
By everything, what do you mean?
Yeah, everything.
Just so people know.
Yeah, no, of course. They have like when you get into the ongoing, I remember like we would practice auditions. So like we would go in and like do tapings, so one-on-one, and we would watch each other.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is very important, especially now. Like then it wasn't just self-tapes and now it's all self-tapes.
Yeah.
And so it's really good to like see it back and get the feedback. And we would work on a lot of anything currently casting.
Okay.
And so when I say everything, I mean like different shows, different films. I remember one time we worked on like an independent film that may have not been written the best, but that's a lot of what we're going out for. And like, how do we elevate it? And how do we get excited about something like this? And so, and then we would work on like really amazing pilots and then it would be really fun to see them get put on television. And you're like, wow, we worked on that and now I get to see the final product. And
either agree or disagree with their choices.
Exactly. Oh, I did some improv. I did groundlings. And then I found my way to Marjorie Ballantyne in 2020, right at like the COVID spike. And I was there for 4 years. And that's when I fell in love with theater. She really demanded a lot from us in terms of our foundation and our technique. And she comes from the Stella Adler world. And I think that's when I really found my trust in my artistic voice and how to show up on set as a full character and trust my instincts through going back to the basics.
Yeah.
So I just had to find my way back to that. And then theater really is very nerve-wracking.
Do you feel like what you had just said, though, is going back to the basics is really building the foundation?
Exactly. Honestly, maybe in any industry right now, we live in such a fast-paced world and we skim over things because we're just ready for the result. We're ready to get there, or we feel like we have to get there. I think for me, like I felt like I was already behind. So I had 22.
I was going to say, at such a young age, at 22.
And you think that you have to like jump ahead and learn everything so quickly. And like you really don't. Yeah. And I was able to like find my way to be slow, to like really soak things in and relish in the process of what it is to be an actor and what it is to create a character and a story.
Yeah.
Like I did that in my 30s, like, and that's fine. Like that's when I learned, really truly learned and could trust that.
Do you feel like you could have learned that at 22, or do you feel like you didn't have the maturity at that age to really learn what you learned when you were in your 30s? I
probably could have if I had maybe the right guidance, and maybe I did, and I just didn't hear it correctly to learn in that way. I think I was I still had that stubborn high achiever, like, well, I have to get it done. I have to get it right. I have to move on so I can like be successful at this thing. Like I just uprooted my whole life.
Yeah.
And, everyone's cheering me on. And I also think my basis of success wasn't very aligned. I only saw that as being rich and famous. That was successful. Not all the stuff that I have done. Mm-hmm. And also, I don't even want to be rich and famous.
What do you consider success now, if you had to define success?
Showing up and doing what you love every single day, whether that is in career or in relationship. I think it's just with life.
No, I 100% agree, but I do agree with you that it's something that I think we've come to realization when we're older. Because yes, when you're younger, again, it's that I want to understand the science behind like the brain forming, you know?
Yeah.
Because I do think we're invincible when we're younger. We have less fear. Like literally the thought of dying is like not doesn't even cross my mind when we're younger. I feel like it's like,
No, you're invincible.
we can jump off that roof and be totally fine and land in the bush and we'll be good. I don't know if you did any of that, but I did some crazy stuff. But it also just goes back to this like, but we also lived in a world where we kind of compared, right? Like, oh, that I need that. So and so Emma Stone has that. I mean, maybe I just used her because you used her earlier, but like she's rich and famous, or whoever's rich and famous. It was the days of like, do you remember Tiger Beat magazines and like stuff like that, where you look at these people that you're like, oh, they're famous and they're rich, and MTV's like showing off your cribs and your cars and all that kind of stuff. And then like you said, you get older and you realize like, actually, I don't want any of that.
Yeah.
And we've seen how that's affected so many people to have that. But I think it takes maturity. And again, I want to do like some research behind like how the brain forms. So anyways, enough about that.
You're going into neuroscience.
Seriously, I'm like, so I've given up on acting and neuroscience. Here I come. You did all this training. You said 2024. So now, I mean, that was only 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So you've fallen in love in those 4 years with theater. Mm-hmm. You still love TV and film?
I still love TV and film. I still watch it all the time.
Do you feel like you have a preference?
They're all so different.
Yeah.
Like there's a beauty of the amount of people that work on a film or TV set that go into that medium, and the choreography with the camera, that dance and the mood that you can set is so like there's nothing else like it. The finished product, you know, like, I don't know, it's so nerdy and cool.
Yeah.
But theater, I feel to me I'm so much more naked and vulnerable because the audience that's what they get.
Yeah.
There's no finished product for the world. It's only the people who show up that night and see that moment.
Yeah.
That's what they get. Showing up, like, and I haven't done it in this capacity where I'm doing 8 shows. I've done it for like a couple weekends. So like maybe 4 shows max, but like 8 shows where I get to like show up and do this character again and again and keep it alive and fresh and new. And who knows what's going to happen. And all of you is exposed.
It's interesting though that you said you said the word naked, right? With theater. Do you feel when it comes to anxiety though, which one do you feel you have more with? Do you feel like you have more anxiety with, or none at all? Are you somebody that just doesn't have anxiety?
I have anxiety, girl. Am I a millennial?
I didn't want to assume. Okay.
I haven't had the pleasure to do that many auditions lately in person. But when they were in person, I would be very anxious about the audition process. Yeah. But looking back on it, one of those scene nights that you came to see.
Yeah.
And it was one of the first ones we did.
Which just to explain, it was it was the school under this teacher you talked about, Marjorie, right?
Yes.
And you guys did one scene each. You guys come out and did one. It was usually a big scene. It wasn't small.
Yeah.
But
all based on like plays and like some sort of theme that we wanted to represent with.
It was fantastic.
But thank you.
Of course.
But I remember my very first scene partner, we got off stage and his heart was racing. And he was like, "Do you feel that?" I was like, "Yeah, are you like nervous?" And he was like, "No, that's awesome." Like he was, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, our excitement and anxiousness or excitement and nerves are the same exact thing. Yeah. It's just like how you perceive them." And so I'm like, no, it was exhilarating to feel that alive in the audition room. The fact that you don't know what to expect and like you're vibrating. And so now I have a nostalgia about it. But I've brought that with me into the theater world. Like when I'm about to walk on stage, yes, I feel my heart beating out of my chest and I'm so nervous, but it turns into this electricity that I can't explain. And I'm not saying that it's like, oh, I'm like not like I can show up on stage and it's all great. I've been able to harness it, I guess, in a healthier way, in a more exciting way, a more pleasurable way.
Pleasurable being a very much a key word. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm like, this is why I do it.
Yeah.
Not to be scared. And I think that's what was exciting going back to like when we were younger and doing it. Like it was so much fun. Yeah. But like you really could mess up in front of so many people.
And you didn't care. You were like, and? But it was interesting because I'm asking those questions because I obviously relate to a lot of things you're saying, but also it does kind of do that thing where it's like, did it switch when it was, I want them to like me, I want them to hire me. So then the anxiety, the nerves, because they do say your brain doesn't know the difference between nervousness and excited, but like that, our brains then go like, okay, this is life or death. If they don't like me, then I'm not validated. If I don't do well, then I'm not validated, then I'm not good. Whereas when we were younger, it was like, we didn't care.
Yeah. No, you
I
hit
don't
the nail on the
know.
head. No, 100%. I showed up in so many spaces wanting to be liked. Yeah. Once again, that girl who wanted to belong. I wanted to belong in this industry, but I was asking for permission all the time.
Yes.
Which is exhausting for the other person. They say like casting like can smell like your desperation on you. Like I totally had that perfume on. Like
That's such a great way to put it.
like I wanted to do it right.
Yeah.
And then I think that also sucked the fun out of it because I'm not expressing the way I want to express.
Yeah.
And I would have those moments. Like I still like would have some bookings and I would still have fun. But I think like there was a lack of trust in my abilities and in my talents and in my choices. I keep saying this, like I'm not like cured by all means, but like I still like I feel like I'm constantly unraveling the onion, that Shrek mentioned.
I was thinking the same thing. The layers of the onions. So true.
But like every year I'm like, oh, I shed that part. But then like there's another lesson of it that
Again, when does it
it never ends.
80-year-old women sitting having coffee being like, have we figured it out yet?
I do think though, and I remind myself, I remember this episode of The Good Place.
Yeah.
It was in their final season and Lisa Kudrow is a guest star and like they're in the actual good place. Everything is handed to them. And she's like, I'm going insane. If I want ice cream, it like shows up in her hand. She's like, ah! Like everything they want is just handed to them. Like Shakespeare is a lush. She's like, bleh, like burping, like he's not Shakespeare anymore. Like it's like when things are easy, why are we like, there actually is no will to live.
Yeah.
There is no curiosity or creativity. Nothing can be birthed because it's just handed to you.
Yeah.
And then you become nothing. And so I try to remind myself like, okay, life is an evolution. We will constantly be evolving. When things get, kind of dark and depressing, because it does sometimes. This world is harsh. It's hard.
Yeah.
But there is something of value that I can get from this moment.
Yeah.
Show up in that way, the best way that I can.
You're so well-spoken, Jodi. You know how to verbalize yourself. I think you're so unbelievably smart. I want to take it back a little bit to the day that we met, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
To give a little context for anyone listening, I was directing my first short film that I co-wrote with Tiana Napolitano called Heard. It delves into the tough subject matter of consent and sexual assault. And I was auditioning people. Jamie Castro, who has been on the show, cast the short film for me. And Jodi came in and auditioned and just knocked it out of the park. And I was like, oh my God, she left the room. And I was like, we have to, we just looked at each other like, she's the one, right? And it was just so fantastic. And it obviously wasn't an easy short film to do because of the subject matter. It did show that, trigger warning for anyone watching. It did show the scene of an assault, of when it happened, and you were brave enough to take that on. We had many, many conversations. I just would love, we don't have to delve into it too much. We can save that for another day when we really talk about Heard. But what was that experience like for you as an actor? How did you feel about auditioning for a short film? First of all, I'd love to hear just how that felt, even though maybe you knew Jamie or not. I'm not sure. But like, how did that feel? What was it like shooting it from your perspective?
I love short films. I think that they don't get enough credit. And they're a way for so many filmmakers to express without having to go so grand and get like bigger budgets. And I never shy away from the short film auditioning process. I think I auditioned for it in 2020, right? Like early 2020.
Well, because it was supposed to originally take like film during the pandemic. And then I had to, oh my God, I can't believe the audition was actually 2020.
It was
right
because
before.
I think we were like, I don't think we could shoot this week. I think the world's shutting down.
And I remember I had to make that decision. So you were cast then. Because it was down to the wire. I think 5 days before, a week before is when it finally was shut down.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
No, you're totally fine. I mean, it was like such a wild time. But
It was.
like, that was coming out of the Me Too movement. But, we're coming out of like a political, a lot of things had changed for women. So immediately, I've never been one to shy away from difficult subject matter. I have always been attracted to it in terms of stories. It's also been the type of stories I want to tell because people don't have the capacity to tell it themselves in their own lived experiences. So it was kind of a no-brainer when I wanted to audition for it. And so I did. And then I got the call back. And then I was like, oh, damn, I'm going to this office because Jamie was still casting Station 19. And then like it was also the Grey's casting office. And that was just really exciting, when you get to go to like a big office. And it wasn't just like down the street at like Katz or Hollywood. I forget what they're all called now. Like there used to be like all the little indie offices. And I can't even remember.
So we don't go to any of them anymore.
I know.
It's so sad.
But I got to meet you.
Yeah.
You were a ray of sunshine. So you did make it so comfortable for me. I remember Mia was there and we did like a little chemistry thing. And oddly, I had fun. It was a pleasurable experience despite it being really heavy. And I left and I just was like, that was a really cool experience. Whatever happens, I kind of just dropped it and moved on for like once. and then can't remember how, maybe Jamie like went through my agent. Maybe it was like very professional.
We were trying to do it very professional. But what I love too is to hear that like you had fun, even though like, because I do think, and then you were able to let it go. Going back to the acting side of things, do you feel like if you allow yourself to have more fun with it, it is easier to go, okay, I had fun. I can let it go.
Yeah. And I think that had to do with you and Jamie too. You made it such a delightful experience where I was able to disarm and just feel like very comfortable in doing what I needed to do. It's one of the few times I felt free in the room, honestly.
I have to say, the fact that you say that, we've always said that about Jamie. So Jamie to me was somebody when I would come in the room as an actor to audition for her, and Linda Lowy at the time, I would come in the room and she was always such a grounding, positive force. There's something about Jamie, I can't pinpoint it. But she makes you feel so comfortable and so at ease in a situation that can be so stressful and anxiety provoking because you're like, I'm glad that I'm also lumped in that and that the room itself felt good. But yeah, no, I just wanted to give that compliment to Jamie as well.
Yeah, no, Jamie is fabulous. You're fabulous.
We love you, Jamie. But yeah, so it was just such an honor, and I'm so grateful to have met you that day because obviously our friendship has continued since, even though we live crazy lives. And you just knocked it out of the park with the short film. I hope people see it, but I also know that it must have been hard, let alone those scenes, the assault scenes, were they hard for you to shoot?
It's an interesting thing as an actor, I feel like, shooting something like that, because it does take you to a place that you need to go to. And at the time, I think I had the tools to hold myself in a safety space to go there, to allow, because I was able to understand the bigger picture of what it was that I was doing. Did have a discomfort to it.
Yeah.
It did help the performance. Does that sound like
No.
sadomasochistic?
No, I mean, for anyone that doesn't know, I mean, obviously people hearing this that aren't actors are always going to be like, what the hell? But like, as actors, we can do we want the harder scenes. We want to play the person that's snapped and is getting 5150. We want to play the person that's grieving the loss of their child or something. Like, we don't want that to happen to us in real life. And sometimes these situations have happened to people in real lives. But we want to be able to play those. We're storytellers, right? We want to be able to, I learned it in the class I just did, like, that is our job to kind of get into the mindset of like, what would that be like? I don't want to really live it. But if I want to know what would that be like, as weird as that sounds, that is kind of what a part of acting is. It's living constantly in a place of curiosity, I believe, of like, I need to understand this. I have a desire and a drive to understand it, not because I want to actually experience it, but because I want to understand what people went through that might have experienced it like this, even if it's different than you might have experienced something. It's just, as an actor, I think that's where our love for it stems from is this deep desire for curiosity.
Yeah.
And that curiosity is usually about things that are the most obscure, like losing a loved one. I won't say a child again because I feel like that touched even closer. And I was like, why did I just say that? But like losing somebody or experiencing something that is just traumatic.
To touch on the parts that are taboo.
Yeah.
That aren't as spoken about or and also like we had Drew.
Yes.
Who is lovely and Jamie's husband.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think as a director, correct me if I'm wrong, we made it so comfortable. Drew was like, I think asked you every 2 seconds, like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? To the point you're like, Drew, I'm okay. But what you were saying before I went on to my tangent was basically like, because it's still uncomfortable, it's still a stranger or somewhat of a semi-stranger to you.
Yeah.
Having to act out this scene where they're basically taking away your autonomy, your control. There's a level, I'm assuming, of, as you said, uncomfortability and discomfort with that you can use that for the scene on top of what you've already done to prepare for it, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's that fine line. Obviously, our set was ran so with such care and intention, and I felt incredibly safe to feel all the feelings that I needed to feel. So I could, if I didn't have the autonomy, or if I didn't feel that way, I would have the autonomy to be like, look, this is crossing the line for me.
Good.
Where I know some sets, I think about blue is the warmest color, which was toxic as hell.
I just learned this recently because I love that movie so much. And someone had to correct me. They're like, what's an LGBTQ film that you love that you would like? And I'm like, oh my God, blue is the warmest color. And then someone's like, no. And I was like, what? I had no idea.
I mean,
completely oblivious, I guess, because everyone else
fabulous
seems to know
performances, but they were like tortured, which is not the way to get those performances.
But as the OG way of acting used to be, I'm not justifying this by any means.
No. Unfortunately, that was common.
That was common back then. I mean, it shouldn't have happened then. It shouldn't happen at all anymore these days. But I know that back in the day, the teachers we have that trained, 50 years ago, that was what it was, is almost like very Strasberg, very method, like, no, you're going to feel it. We want you to feel it, which ironically you look at it and you go, that's not acting.
No.
That's just being traumatized.
Torture,
and then filming my trauma on camera.
That's not like replicable. Like as an actor, we're trying to find ways to always find our way into those deep emotions.
Yeah.
And if you're just going to teach me that I just need to be traumatized, then how am I supposed to play that again? Like
it's so true. Just to go again on a little tangent with the Meisner, just that I just really dove really deep into. What was so great is you can't actually use things you're going through right now because they aren't processed. And that's kind of what that director did, was like, I'm going to force you to feel these things and traumatize you and then film it. And really what most acting training does tell you is learn to use things from your past, but don't ever use something that you're currently going through or processing, because it actually takes away from the performance. You actually can't gauge your own personal processing that you're going through, that hurt, that pain or whatever, versus what your character's supposed to be going through, because the line is too blurred. It's our job is to be able to kind of go back and be able to use things that we've experienced, but to not have it be so present that we can't, turn it off essentially. At least, I don't know. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about acting, right?
Yeah.
Like the beautiful thing about acting is everyone has a different interpretation. When I did the episode with Jamie, we had this conversation where she's like, no, but I think you have to bring yourself to the audition. And I was like, see, that's my thing. I think you're always playing a character. And then I went and did this 6-week intensive and I was like, oh, no, we are always bringing ourselves to the character. Okay, got it. Like, because you always want to be like, no, a great actor means that I'm someone completely different.
Totally. But it's like, no matter what, we are who we are. We just try to tap into these different parts of ourselves and that are adjacent to or intertwined with the character.
Can relate in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting because, what was I going to say? I don't know. Oh, it was there. And then
sorry. Meisner, Jamie.
This is your interview, not mine.
Yeah, but I love having this back and forth.
Well, with acting, obviously I get so passionate about it. So it adds a different layer because I feel like I can relate. And so I want to jump in. Whereas like when I'm talking to someone about poetry, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. It sounds amazing. Anyways, I'm going to say thank you so much for being willing to do that, to showing up to the short film and giving such a brilliant performance, that heartbreaking, gut-wrenching performance that really brought it to life, because that short film meant so much to me, but I know for people that watched it too, to be able to feel like you're not alone and that you're seen, that is hard as it is to watch. I think it allows people to go like, okay, I can now deal with something I went through because I'm seeing it kind of outside of my own head, right?
Yeah.
There's a way to kind of be like, okay, this makes sense. And I've just heard a lot of people that just said that I felt seen. I felt seen watching the short film. And then it sparks a conversation. I really made the short film, for those that might be listening, and it was meant to stir conversation. And that's why at the beginning, the character you played welcomes him into her home, does have the intention to want to have some sort of romantic exchange, intimate exchange, but then it just turns wrong. And a lot of times in my experience, this has happened. It happens to a lot of women because we know assault happens, but there's just such a spectrum of what that looks like. And is such a spectrum of what is assault. I think a lot of times people just don't know, like, where is the line? So we know the extreme versions. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of times we've seen stories of it where there's certain men that come out and be like, I had no idea. My experience, I think it was that comedian, there was an assault that a woman came out about him. It was just one.
Oh, Aziz Ansari.
Thank you.
I did know about it.
It was
Sorry.
Right? That's his name, right?
Yeah, that was like written in Jezebel.
And it was really interesting because, he didn't have multiple people come out, which always is usually a good sign of like, okay, this was an isolated
but they had
situation.
Very different experiences of.
And that to me was such a perfect example of like, in the short film, he says like, that was great. Call me later, text you the whole thing. And his experience was obviously vastly different than your experience. Yeah. But is that still assault? Obviously, as women, we say yes. And most men that I know, actually, some women have said no, actually. It's the women that usually say yes or no, whereas every man that watches the short film goes, yes, that's assault, yes. So it's very interesting when you can watch it and you can see it, you go, what is this? But what an interesting story would be if you took the short film and then filmed it from his perspective. Like, it's a good way to start conversations, not because I'm trying to justify that anyone is right by doing something like that. They're not. The point is consent is always what matters, and teaching the generation and all the generations, whether it's your son or for my future children or whatever, that whoever you are in that dynamic, having the power to be able to say no, or having the power or the ability to stop and go, are you okay right now, is really important, because I think a lot of times there does lie this gray area, especially with talking about our brains being not formed when we're younger. Yeah. Those years when we are going through puberty and wanting to and our hormones, and you're sleeping with people, having sex for the first time, drinking alcohol. Like, you have all these factors working against you. And a lot of times we've heard it, like so many girls in college, these things happen to them. You're dealing with people that it's whether she was intoxicated, he was intoxicated, we don't know. And that's what's so hard that I struggle with, because I know there are always two perspectives of what happened. It doesn't change the fact that they were violated. Men have to have 100% a better understanding of the power that they hold. Men are stronger. It's just a truth. Like, they have to be able to understand that, and they have to be gentler in so many ways, and to stop themselves and to ask. But women also need to start having more of the power to say no, because I think in my experience, a lot of times women don't say no. And I think this was a big part of mine, is during the filming of this, a lot of people said she needs to say no, especially the men on set were like, no, I think you just get it. Just film her saying no once. Just film her saying. And I was like, no, I'm not having her say no. Yeah. I was like, that was part of it, because a lot of times when you're so shocked, and I'll ask you your thoughts on this too. If you're so shocked in a situation like that, you almost become numb, which is what I was trying to capture, is you almost are like, is this happening? How did I let this happen? It is a situation where you let him into your house. So I wanted this to happen, but I didn't want it to happen like this. Did I lead him on the wrong way? Do I have the power to say no right now? Like, the train's in motion. Like, what do I do? But then you have to sit there after and reel from the effects of like shame and guilt. I think it's this kind of, on that spectrum, it's this one area that people don't talk about enough, because we talk about straight up assault and rape. When there's no's being said, it's a clear line. That is, there's no question asked. But this one that no one really talks about as much really bothers me, because I think it happens a lot.
It does. It's happened to me. It's an outer body experience, and it's very interesting because it is nuanced. You're like, I can think of one time and I'm like, was that assault? I said no, but I let it. And like I let other things happen that I did want, but then I didn't want it to go further, but it did. And then you try to course correct, and then I think you kind of forget who you are. It's a weird thing, and I think it's a really, really wonderful conversation that we need to have. And it's hard. It's really hard. It's not an easy one.
No.
It's not an easy one. But I do think that there's totally different lived experiences around sex, around sexuality.
Yeah.
That I'm being binary when I say this, but that men and women have. And I think it just stems from how we're taught about sex at an early age. I feel like it has to be. I feel like we're not as open about it in this country, and we have so many more issues around it. It just seems, at least.
I say this all the time. I was like, we're okay with violence. And this is maybe what it is in American culture, violence is very much accepted and sex is very much taboo. I don't know if that's puritanical, Quaker type stuff.
Probably.
But I do feel like going to France is a perfect thing that very much embraces sexuality, as does Italy, as these countries that really embrace sex and sexuality don't seem to have as many hangups. There's a lot of cheating, which I don't really fully get. But
I know, people are like, love everybody.
And I'm just like, wait, but if you're committed to somebody. But that being said, like, it does feel like, and they're very much not violent people. Here it feels like violence is accepted. It's one of these conversations that's, I don't think there'll ever be an answer or one exact way to do it, right? Because like everyone's experience, you can't predict every single experience.
Yeah.
There were drinks involved. It was after a sporting event and you went back to their place, but you felt trapped because your keys were left in their car. Is it like there's so many different variables to how things can go so unbelievably wrong. But we also don't want to live in constant fear. And as a woman, it feels like part of our lives is constantly living in like,
I know.
Okay, well, if I want to get out of the situation, what are my options? And like, okay, that's horrible. Yeah. And I've heard this has been said, educating women. Yes, let's start educating men. And I think the short film really did have an effect on men that watched it too. We're like, oh my God, but also angry that that your character didn't say no. And in your situation that you'd experienced in your personal life, you said you did say no. So they didn't listen is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
But again, it's playing it back in your head.
Yeah. And I still like allowed it in a weird way.
Did they read?
I don't know if I was like strong enough. I don't know.
Did they read the no in your situation as foreplay?
Possibly.
You'll never know.
I'll never know.
And after, did you feel shame and guilt?
Yes.
That's always the part. So yes. So obviously I wrote the short film because of my own experiences as well. And the shame and guilt is one that I think as women, I would like to try to remove that. If we could just talk about it after, how powerful would it be? If we can't fix, I want us to get to a point that situations like this never happen. But can we at least get to a point where if they happen, we can talk about them with the person after? Is there a world? Because I play it over in my head and I go, could I have told that person? And I always wonder, does that person know what they did? Do they actually know?
Yeah.
And I want to be like, what if I had the power? I couldn't stop it during it because my brain, I went numb, right? You do this numb thing, outer body experience. But after, what if I could say that was wrong and hold them accountable in that moment? Would that have a trickle effect of change? That people are in the moment being held accountable. Therefore, next time he'll know when to stop. He'll know when and pick up the signs better.
And then you get your power back, maybe.
And does that allow you to not carry this shame and guilt that so many women carry because we feel like it was our fault? Mm-hmm. Like I didn't do enough to stop it. I led them on. I love the conversation to happen. I don't think there's ever going to be one because of so many variables, one ever real answer. But I just want us to be able to try to find ways to to at least minimize things like this happening, because no woman should have to go through it. I think it's horrible. And I think even though the statistics, I think, are like, what is it? 3 in 5 women have been assaulted. I think actually
Probably
all women.
every woman.
I think there's a version of every woman has a version like this that is more of this gray area where they can, because we have to process and go, no, that wasn't assault.
Yeah.
You have to, right? You even said, like, I'm not sure if it was. Like, I think it was. Like,
I think I doubled down and like did it again, like another time.
But
be like, okay, this is what it was. I allowed it to happen, so I should just go back.
with the same guy, right?
Yeah.
And that is also
Insane.
no, but it's the psychology of like, we're trying to make sense of it. Like, oh, okay, so I don't want to live in the guilt and shame. I wanted that. He obviously clearly thought I wanted it. And obviously I did kind of want it. So it happened. So let me do it again. Is it so that you can try to then regain your control, your power, to feel less guilt and shame?
I would think so. I think I was too young to like really understand what I was doing. But I looking back at it, like I think it was to have a say in it. Like, so this was my choice this time.
Yeah.
And to forget, but you don't forget.
Yep.
But I remember us sitting down like in 2020 when we thought we were going to shoot then.
Yeah.
And like just talking about like consent is sexy.
Yes.
Like if we just like check in.
Yes.
And to be quite honest, like, you know, now that I have a baby, I had like a complicated pregnancy too. I'm actually like working with a sex coach to get back into my body again, like for Frankie and I to like find our words and this new language with this new body I have. And it is all about communicating.
Yes.
And saying what you like, what you don't like. It's like, once again, I'm going back to the basics with sex again with my husband. but like because
The foundation.
Going back to the foundation. We've been together for so long, and now we have a whole new life together. And also like I'm getting to know myself again.
Yeah.
And that's been like really fun to like explore with words.
Yeah.
And I'm going back to that, and I'm like, if only like we knew how to say what we wanted and we didn't want it from the very beginning.
Sometimes it's hard, though, like you said, not knowing what it is you want.
And yeah, when you're in your young 20s, you definitely don't.
You're so confused.
Or your teens or
But what I love is, and thank you for taking this time to talk a little bit about Heard, because I feel it's so important and it was such a special part of my life. But I do now want to talk about the fact that you
loved Heard. It was such a special part of my life too.
Thank you. I want to talk about motherhood.
Yes.
So segueing into. So I didn't touch base when I knew stuff was going on. I kind of saw the journey on Instagram, but was like, something's happening, but I don't know what. I guess I'll just stay on the outskirts.
Yeah.
What happened? So were you trying to get pregnant first? I want to start from the beginning.
Okay, so the thing was, I think I did know I always wanted kids,
Okay.
but I think I didn't want to commit.
Yeah.
Like in my 20s, I was like, Frankie and I, we just celebrated 9 years of marriage. Like we took our time.
Yeah.
In 2024, we were going to Europe, and I was like, maybe it would be so romantic if we had like a sexcapade around Europe. And that's when we like started trying. But then I wanted to, that was literally
That's amazing.
what I thought. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, the trip's coming up, and I'm like, but do I really want to have a kid? I was like, I was terrified.
Mm-hmm.
But then I signed up to do ayahuasca in August.
The drug.
Yes. And I was like, well, I can't get pregnant before this ayahuasca journey. I need to go do ayahuasca. I thought that would like make me no longer fear becoming a mother.
Doing the ayahuasca journey.
I thought it would shed me of everything. I learned a lot.
Oh my God.
I mean,
so you did the ayahuasca journey.
Oh yeah, I did. I had a whole weekend. It was fabulous.
God.
Honestly, it was like awesome.
Okay, wait. I don't even know where, this is the first time I've actually do not know where to go from here. Sorry. So you were questioning whether or not you wanted to be a mother, but before you were going to be a mother, you needed to do the ayahuasca trip. Did you do the ayahuasca trip before the European sexcapade? Or did the sexcapade?
That was August. We just had our sexcapade with Sans impregnation.
Got it. Sexcapade, no,
because that was
birth
July.
control still situation. No babies yet. Okay,
ayahuasca in August.
Oh my God, I want to know all about this.
Yeah, I can go into it too.
Oh my God, yes. Just personally too. I'm like, do I need to do ayahuasca? So then you decided to do ayahuasca. And was that, as you just said, the intention of being like, do I want to be a mother? I need to get this. I need to feel.
Part of it was I felt blocked creatively too. I felt like I was at this point where I wasn't finding pleasure in what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like I was in another moment where I was like, I feel like I'm not fully living and I'm keeping myself from the fun and the play and the pleasure. And I also think that's mirroring my fear of motherhood and becoming a mom, because all of like what is a child but love and play and pleasure, you know, like they know how to do all of that.
Yeah. And present moment.
And yeah, being so present.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like nagging at me for a bit. And I had like a friend who facilitated and had kind of been in like my aura. And I don't know what it was about committing about that time.
Yeah.
But I was like, I think I need to do this. I had already like played with like mushrooms and stuff, but I was like, I need to like.
I love the way you put that. I've played with mushrooms. Okay, continue.
But I was like, I need like a deep medicine that can like take me out of my brain. I live so in my brain, being a Virgo, you know, and not in my body as much. Yeah, we're both Virgos. You share a birthday with my mother, the 27th, right? Or are you the 26th?
Yeah, the day before.
Yeah, no, you're the day before. I always say that, but yeah,
no,
the 26th.
but it's, oh my God, I forgot that too. Okay, continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
I wish this was alcohol.
Girl, we could open up a bottle. What do we need?
This has become a therapy session that I needed. Okay, continue.
So it was like a weekend. I had never done it. I mean, it was an all-girl sit.
Yeah.
It was really beautiful. I mean, when you zoom out and you think about like 13 women vomiting together, it doesn't sound very like fun.
Reminds me of, my late teens. I don't know what you're talking about.
True.
I'm sure there's some college memories like that you remember.
I mean, there have been times Frankie has had to clean up some moments.
Oh my God, same. What's going
Oops. Oopsies.
Sorry.
It was a journey. I mean, literally you go on a journey, a plant medicine journey. And the first night, it was very much learning. It was very internal, very ancestral. I had all these like hands. They were like roots, but they were hands. I could tell they were hands holding me and just telling me like, it's okay to like let go. I worked through like a lot of guilt about like leaving home, like my parents, like and moving away, and the guilt of wanting to pursue my art, which is a huge love of your life. Yeah. Alongside like the people in it. There is sometimes, I think, a guilt that like you're giving this love and energy to this part of you that you can't necessarily give to other people because it's its own thing. It was very much a deeply connected holding of the people in my life physically and spiritually. That's what it felt like. And then the second night was like an ego death.
So do you do it twice?
Yes, you do it twice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. This was like a Friday night and a Saturday night.
Okay.
And then you eat like soup afterwards and nourish yourself. And it's like the best soup ever. And which I also brought into like my pregnancy, which is kind of funny. So I'll circle back to the ayahuasca with birth.
Okay.
But anyways, the second night was like an ego death because I was so in my head because I had such a beautiful first night and like nothing was happening the second night. And I was like, of course, like nothing's happening. You're just going to sit here and be bored because you're all this stuff. And then all of a sudden it was like, boom, it hit me. And then that was like trippy dippy pleasure land where like the whole world was vibrating. I had like, it was like I was on LSD, like flowers coming out of my fingers. Like I was like laughing. And then I felt like I went from like a baby. Like I remember picking up my water bottle and it felt like this big. Like I'm holding, if you're not watching the YouTube version, I'm holding my hands up like I'm Tommy Pickles and his bottle, like huge. And then I just kept like becoming this like woman of the earth. And I was like dancing and it was like beautiful. Like it was like I became this higher version of like a little like nymph of life. I don't know. It was like so much fun.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, so I have to be like ready to like feel this like pleasure and love. Like I have it at my fingertips. Like I'm held, I'm protected. Like I can make this choice into motherhood. And what's funny is like that's not how life goes. Like you don't just like take a plant medicine and expect like you just snap out of something, you know? Like
yeah.
I still had to make the choice as Jodie, as me in this moment. So a whole other month went by and remember it was my birthday It was Virgo season officially at that point. And I had this conversation with this woman, this other random woman in my life who was older and wise. And she just would randomly told me before I left for my birthday weekend, we went to Ojai, Frankie and I, and she was just like, you have to do the things that scare you. She's like, the unknown is where you grow the most. She's like, you have to jump into it or else like you're not like living every moment. You don't know what's happening next. Yeah. And I took that and I was like, I am scared of this, but I know I want this. So let's just see what happens. And all I had to do was say, okay, like we're committing to this. And I remember thinking immediately I was pregnant and I was like, what? Like I just was like, you know what, Frankie, let's just see what happens. I don't know how my body's going to react. Yeah. You know, you really don't.
Well, had you been on birth control this entire time?
I had not been on birth control for a few years because I didn't really like the way it made me feel.
I'm the same. That's I just was curious as to like how were you guys were because a lot of times I was just asking because a lot of times when people get off birth control, it takes so long to get those out of your system.
Yes.
That it usually
We just had been careful.
Yeah. It's good. Smart of you.
You know that method.
Yeah.
The pull-out method, I guess.
Hey, listen, let's talk about it. It's perfect.
My body felt different, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm pregnant. What the hell? I took a test. I was not. I started my period, and then I was bummed. And I was like, wow, I do really want this. Weirdly, the next time in October, I didn't know, but we got pregnant.
Did Frankie want a child? I didn't ask about that.
Oh yes, he was very much like on my timeline, but he was ready like years ago.
Okay, good. I just wanted to clarify. So I know we don't need to talk about him, but that being said, he is a part of your life and obviously the father of your child.
Yes.
So I just wanted to clarify. Okay, so he always wanted to, but was waiting also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you guys got pregnant. You didn't know. When did you didn't know when it happened. So when did you finally find out?
It's funny because I was technically pregnant in October when I was home. Like it's the eggs from like your last period that you had, and that's like what the eggs that drop and then get impregnated by the sperm, et cetera. I didn't know until I got pregnant or I found out in November. Okay. I think November 15th. Okay. That like I realized, October 11th is actually like what starts your weeks. So that's where you start like your 40 week to your due date. That is the word I was looking for.
Isn't it crazy that we don't know more about this until we actually experience it ourselves and then we're like, oh, yeah. Oh, now I'm finding out. Okay.
Yeah. I literally apologized to all my girlfriends in North Carolina. I was like, you all went through so much. And I just was like, they're pregnant. And I'm like, what? They're like, Jodi, it's okay. But I'm like, whoa, it is nothing to play around with. This is insane. I joke about being home because we went to the state fair. We all felt a little off by the scrambler. And
What's the scrambler?
Oh, the scrambler ride, you know, like that goes like
oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you like kind of like get jerked and like it's on like the Santa Monica Pier. Like it's at every fair or like carnival. Mm-hmm. And all of us felt a little off after that. I did not know I was pregnant. I thought when I got pregnant, I was like, great. I'm going to be like booking all these cute like pregnancy jobs and like I'll be very niche as an actor.
Which technically you did book a pregnancy job.
Technically. Well, they didn't know I was pregnant, but like it really worked for the character because obviously I had like 7 kids anyway for Euphoria.
Okay, sorry, keep going though.
No, you're fine. I found out at my anatomy scan, that's what you do at 20 weeks. And basically it just wants to make sure all the anatomy of the baby is looking good, everything's functioning and growing appropriately. You can at that time we decided not to know the sex. So I don't know actually when you can find that out, but we wanted that to be a secret. Amazing. So, but I found out I had Placenta Previa, which is the placenta implanted low and was covering my cervix. So that was the joke about the scrambler where it scrambled my egg and it dropped and implanted low. That's what I'm blaming is the scrambler.
It's a way to kind of process and joke about it. Okay.
Yeah. So at that time she was like, no sex and no hardcore working out or anything. Like you need to be very careful. So
what can happen? Can it?
So the placenta has all the nutrients and blood and everything for the baby to survive in your body. Like basically a woman's body grows a brand new organ that is temporary for the baby to live off of. There's a lot of vessels and it's too close to the cervix. And the cervix is the canal that ends up opening for the baby to come through into this world. So mine was covering that.
Got it.
So there was no exit route. And the reason they say they don't, having a placenta rupture is very dangerous for a baby and for me.
Got it.
So at the time, I was going to do another one of those little scene shows. I had my first spotting. There's a difference between brown blood and red blood. So brown blood is old blood. So there was nothing to worry about, but it was still very nerve-wracking.
I can't even imagine.
It was like all of a sudden I thought like I would not have a period, and then like I had to like wear pads again. Like, you know, no tampon, nothing to be shoved up there.
But also during a pregnancy, you're not expecting that at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Well, they were like, this old blood is fine. It's probably like clearing out some old stuff. Like, so you have nothing to worry about. But then I saw my first drop of red. Red is fresh. Red is not good.
Yeah.
So I went to the hospital. Basically, my OBGYN, she was like, I was supposed to go home at the end of March because at this time we did start our theater company, Blue Pen Theater. I was just producing the play because I was going to be very pregnant. We were doing that in May and June. We were doing Stupid Bird, which is a spinoff of The Seagull. So I was going to go to North Carolina at the end of March to do our baby shower so I could be home. Also, I think you can't fly anyway in the third trimester, but I just wanted to like not have anything around the play.
Yeah.
But my OBGYN was like, I don't want you to fly because if this gets worse, you don't want to be on an airplane bleeding out. That's basically what she told me. So we had to cancel the baby shower. She's also like, let's stay home for a bit. I had to drop out of that theater show that I was doing, the scenes, because theater just is a lot on your body. It's very physical.
Yeah.
And then that week I found out I booked Euphoria. And I was like, I don't even know if I should do this. I talked to my midwives and I was like, to be quite honest, this is a very small role and I'm just sitting a lot. And they were like, you should like just go. Like if it's not like too physical, like just be very careful. And so I was like, okay. And I was like, this is the best thing to book if I'm going to book something.
Yeah.
It's not too demanding on my stress levels with like learning lines. And it's just, you know, a little recurring co-star. Like, cool. It ended up being a saving grace because I also couldn't work any other job at the time.
Yeah.
So I did that. I was still on bed rest.
Do you think the kind of universe works in interesting ways? Do you feel like everything happens for a reason?
I do.
And that's a complicated question within regards to everything you're talking about, I know.
It taught me, it shed a lot from my life that I didn't need anymore. And it taught me who showed up, really found me as important in their lives. And the people who didn't show up, I knew like, okay, maybe we don't carry these relationships onward.
Didn't show up in what ways?
I was basically on bed rest for 3 months, and then I was in the hospital for 8 weeks straight of those 3 months.
Before giving birth?
Before giving birth, yeah. So my Previa episodes, it was like 3 strikes and you're out. I had 3 bleeds, and then I had to stay in the hospital because basically they're waiting for a hemorrhage to happen. I went to the hospital as early as 23 weeks where baby is not viable. And really at that point, they just want to make sure I'm okay. Like they want to make sure I survive. So it very much was life or death, very touchy, a really dark time. I felt like I missed out on a lot of my pregnancy. I thought I was going to be like the second trimester. The first trimester, you're kind of like really tired because your body's changing so much. I fortunately didn't have a lot of nausea or food aversions, but I just was very tired and bloated.
Yeah.
Like I just like burped a lot. And your second trimester, you get your energy back and like you get your cute bump. You're not just like looking like you had a burrito for breakfast every day. And like you get to go out in the world and everyone's like, oh, you're glowing. You have all of the stuff. And I was like stuck inside the whole time. Every time I was like, but it could potentially move. So when your uterus expands, so the uterus is what holds the baby and is what's making like kind of the oval the baby's in, a little home. And as it expands, your placenta's stuck on the uterine wall, so it could move away.
Got it.
So I had all this hope, but every time we checked, the placenta had not moved away from my cervix. And so with Placenta Previa, like I said, there's no exit route. I was probably going to have a C-section. And I had signed up to go to a birthing center because I did not want the option as an easy option for me to take an epidural because, like we mentioned earlier, there were some outer body experiences that I personally didn't love the aftermath of. And so I was trying to protect myself with the epidural and just like my own, like how my psyche works in postpartum. I didn't want like the coming down effect of it. Because I would have said yes if I was in hospital.
After you went, you would have said yes to the epidural.
Yes, 100%. It's very painful, but you can do it without it. You can, because I did. So I thought I was going to have a C-section.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
So
yeah, I know. I'm kind of jumping around.
It's okay. I'm actually so happy to hear that like it didn't. Okay.
Yeah. So I was like prepared to have a C-section and I was trying to make it to as long as possible. They don't want you to go past 37 weeks because the uterus wall is really thin or the cervix is thin. Something is very thin and it could cause a lot of stress on the placenta. And like I said, the placenta burst, like that causes harm to everybody involved.
Okay.
I just was chilling in the hospital for the longest time. I had another bleed in the hospital and I had to truly surrender. I had to truly let go of my ego, like what I thought my pregnancy would be. You know, I like signed up with like a pregnancy modeling agency, like didn't get to do anything with any of that. I did get to keep up my beauty routine. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like keep like, you know.
Masks. It was masks and eye patches and okay, so your skin was looking amazing.
I was looking great.
Fantastic.
And I got to like walk around my little hospital room. I took a shower and I had to be monitored twice a day. And Frankie stayed with me every single night until one of my cats fell ill. And I had him, I said, I want to come home to my cats. I was like, you go stay with them and just come visit me. And then at 34 weeks on June 4th, I get checked again as I do like every few weeks just to see what's going on. We want to make sure the placenta is looking good.
Yeah.
And the maternal fetal medicine doctor was like, I don't see your placenta. And I was like, what do you mean you don't see it? He was like, yeah, it's cleared the cervix. So not only did my placenta need to clear the cervix, but it also needed to move another 2 centimeters away from the cervix in order to have a vaginal delivery, which I already needed to move away off the cervix just to have a little bit of safety to go home. And just like, the best case scenario I thought for me was to be able to go home and come back and have a C-section. Yeah. But I was able to go home and not be on bed rest anymore. Obviously, I had to take it easy. I wasn't going to go, like, I was so pregnant at this point. I was like a whale.
You did get it. Not you got huge, but your belly was like, I saw pictures like, oh my God. But I thought it was beautiful.
But it was wild. I only had a mirror that was here above the sink. And then I had photos of me. So when I got home and I looked in my full-length mirror for the first time, I was like, I am huge. Like I did not.
Well, you're also, but you were.
I didn't know how big my belly was. Like iPhone photos did not do it justice. I did not get it. I never saw myself.
That's so. Because I mean, obviously, you didn't look pregnant from any other angle besides the like side angle. But you had a belly. You had like you can't see your toes. You can't see.
No.
But it was like a shock when all of a sudden you went home and had a full length mirror. Oh my God.
It really was. I was like, oh, I am pregnant. That was insane. Because then I had the birth that I always envisioned, but I did not have the pregnancy that I envisioned.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, do things happen for a reason? I say yes and no because I do think in life some bad things happen and we don't always necessarily need to find the lesson in it. It can just be like a bad thing that happens and that sucks and we can just move through it. I do feel for me, it did happen for a reason. I think, like I said, it taught me a lot about community. It taught me about the way I want to show up for people if they're ever in a scenario like this. It taught me what I can control and what I cannot control. And it set me up for postpartum in the most beautiful way and deepened Frankie and I's relationship even more than
I can imagine.
It could. Like I was everything in front of him. Like I couldn't hide anything, you know, like gross, beautiful body. Like that was me. Like it was all on display, full display. Birth was really hard. And I bring back the ayahuasca thing because I was just like in my mind, I was like, oh, I went to the depths of, plant medicine. So I feel like birth is psychedelic like that as well. And yes, I think that it is, but it wasn't in the way that I thought. it was really, really hard. It was painful. It was painful as hell. It was so painful. But there was a point I had to surrender again.
Yeah.
Like I had to choose to mind over matter, like step through the fire. Like my midwife at the time, I didn't have any medication. Like I said, it was just a personal reason for me. Just had to go there. She said, maiden to mother, you have to make the choice. Do this for you and your baby and step through that fire. You can do this. There was a point, I remember I just zoomed out and I felt like once again, all the women that came before me, like that ancestral feeling. And then I saw all the women that are in front of me. Like, I can do this. It's been done and it's going to continue to be done. And it did not make it less painful. I will tell you. But my mind got me there and I was like primal. Like my sister was there with me. It was just my sister and Frankie. I also loved, shout out Moxie Birth. I just loved having my team there. And that was it. It wasn't like random people coming in and out. It was like my 2 midwives. My OBGYN was there because she had came to see me every single day in the hospital.
Yeah.
When I was there, when she heard I was in labor, she wanted to be present. And she ordered us dinner afterwards. But I was like, that's so nice. And like, I did it.
Yeah.
He came out. Well, I didn't know it was a he. They were on my chest. And I was like, well, is it a boy or a girl? And Frankie was like, we wanted you to see, like you to be the one. And then I lifted him up and I was like, and I had always pictured, I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to lift him up like Simba and figure out if it's a boy or a girl. That's how I'm going to picture this. And I did it. And I was like, it's a boy. And then I put him down. I was like, wait, was that the umbilical cord? And then, no, I saw the penis. And I was like,
You're like, wait a second, wait a second. Oh, Jesus.
yeah, I know. And then I had a Remy. And
His name is Remy.
His name is Remy.
Just
Remy Pierce Outland Lewis. He has a very long name.
I love it. Very regal.
Very regal.
Yeah.
We wanted a family name involved. Outland is my dad's mom's maiden name.
Okay.
So.
I love that. It's beautiful to pay tribute to that too. I always love when you can do that. But you made it through.
I made it through.
Really, like hearing you say it, it sounds like you have such clarity with it now. But the fact that you questioned if you wanted to be a mother.
Yeah, sorry, we can go back. I feel like I just zoomed through a lot of stuff.
I'm going to just reiterate everything you just said. The fact that you questioned wanting to be a mother, then you went on your European sexcapade, then you attempted, you thought you were pregnant, you weren't pregnant, then you got pregnant, scrambled your eggs, and then to have a pregnancy that you didn't expect after you kind of were like, no, but I was so clear I wanted to be a mother. When you said you went through that dark place, it must have been because I'm assuming you decided, you committed, and then were you questioning, was this the right choice, at least at any point? Or were you not because you were so, I don't know, because I think what women go through when they're pregnant, you will never understand unless you yourself go through it. From the hormones to the feelings, like I just can't even comprehend.
I think I was already grieving. I thought I had more time with the girl that I was before becoming a mother. I couldn't be her anymore because I had to be a mother. I had to choose to be a mom and keep me and him safe. I think I just thought I had a little more time. Like I said, or I don't know if I said that. I think I said it was the ayahuasca journey, but I think it was like another ego death.
Yeah.
Like I still have my vanity of my spa days in my hospital room, but it really was like, okay, I thought that I could show up in that way and I can't. But why wasn't I showing up in that way already?
And
like,
what do you mean by that? Elaborate on that.
It kind of reminded me, if you fast forward to the end of your life, if we have the pleasure of living till 100.
Yeah.
And you're on your deathbed, you want to have no regrets and you want to know that you lived fully. And I feel like I was still chasing a version of myself that I never fully embodied or lived. And I thought that like with the pregnancy, I would have a chance to kind of tie up loose ends. But life doesn't always work that way, right?
Yeah.
I had to accept that and understand now that I have to fully live every day. Whatever version I am right now, show up fully and be present for it with the people in my life so I don't have that regret. Should I be bedridden again? Should I die tomorrow? Like I know that I don't need to tie up loose ends because I have fully done everything that I'm capable of doing in this moment now. That's what Remy gave me. Like he gave me that, that gift to show up in that way for myself and for him.
Yeah.
By telling me like, no, Mom, right now I need you to chill. But like, because you're not going to learn it if you're still grabbing at everything.
Yeah.
You know, I'm grabbing at life. I'm not flowing with life.
Do you feel more fulfilled?
I do. I do. I feel like, and part of me is like, well, damn, why did I just do this earlier? But I wouldn't have learned this lesson, you know? I wouldn't have been ready for it. It's funny, like, I'm not saying motherhood's easy by all means. Like, it is challenging. But I now, like, the type of stories that I want to express is I feel like we talk a lot about the horrors of being a mother, all the things that we have to give up. Because as a woman, it is put a lot on us. And I have to give a shout out. I keep using the word shout out now. To Frankie. Like, having a good partner is so important.
Yeah.
I take care of baby, he takes care of me. And I've not had to sacrifice my art. Like I still showed up every Thursday when I was out of part of like that postpartum fog to like be with my theater company and like work on plays and like talk about what we're doing next. And, you know, I was able to, when he took his rest of his paid family leave in July, that was all when I was doing rehearsals and tech so I could do this show. You know, like he also like is sacrificing for me to be able to do my art. Where was I going with this? I just lost my thought.
It started when I said, are you fulfilled?
Yes. Okay. I think I want to tell the story. Not that we can, or no, yes, maybe we can have it all. Maybe it's not what it looks like, what we think it would look like.
Yeah.
But we can. If you have your community, if you have your people, if you have all of that in place, you should be able to like do what it is that you want to do and do it with the people you love. Like I feel I want to be this version of me for my child so he can be that version of him, that he doesn't have to make up for something that I'm lacking, that I think sometimes I find myself doing with my parents. They obviously didn't put that on me, and also I'm gonna f them up in some way. Just it's humanity.
It's inevitable.
Inevitable. But like I feel like I'm a deeper artist because of him. And also, like, I don't have time to sweat the small stuff. Like, there's just not enough time in the day and not enough coffee.
Yeah.
He's my little miracle, and I'm so blessed to have him.
It sounds extremely fulfilled in ways that you, I think, it sounds like didn't even realize.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting you talk about the ego death so many times, but it sounds like, you know, you went back in the day when you said your version of success was being rich and famous. You know, that was like the OG version of what you thought it all was to this woman you are today, which is what you have now being present, it sounds like, in the life you've built for yourself, even though it might not have looked a certain way that you imagined at a different phase in your life. But it's beautiful and perfect.
Yeah, thank you. It feels really good.
Good. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. Sorry, you got me now. I'm like, why am I? It's not.
Blame Remy.
I asked two questions always towards near the end of, you kind of already touched on it, but I do want to ask this question. I think it was also beautiful what you said, that yes, everything happens for a reason, but sometimes bad things just happen. And I do think that's a beautiful thing to note, because sometimes when we tell ourselves everything happens for a reason, which I do a lot, I then go, okay, well, what's the reason? And sometimes you keep searching for that reason. And the truth is, if you could just let it go in the moment, the reason might not be for 10 years.
Yeah.
I believe there might always be a reason. At least my heart wants to believe that there's always a reason, because there's so many horrible things that happen in the world. But I do agree that you have to let it go and just say, okay, bad thing happened. I may never know what the reason was.
Yeah.
Just bad thing happened. So I thought that was beautiful that you said that as well. But looking back on your life, is there anything that you would change or that you did regret? I think I heard you say you don't regret anything, but like, is there anything you look at your life that you would have changed?
I mean, in hindsight, of course, I wish I had a stronger voice and say in who I was and how I wanted to show up for myself in certain situations and certain relationships. But then again, I don't know how that would change now, like me now. You know, I don't know who that woman would be now if I, you know, not been the people pleaser that I was.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to shed a little bit of it. But yeah. But I do want, and I'm right now I'm in this phase of life where I'm trying to figure out what exactly it is that I want to express in my art. I have so many unfinished projects that I've written and have not had the means or maybe the courage to put out there. And some don't mean anything to me anymore because that was like a younger version of myself, but some are still tugging at me. So maybe I regret that like I didn't complete or put out into the world certain films that maybe were important to me then. And I don't want to continue to have those regrets. Okay. And so right now I'm trying to figure out like my why again, my why of being an artist. And like it is easy with my theater group, like we're doing something together, but like on the side, like with my writing and like I do want to, get more into filmmaking because I've really only written and produced one film of my own. It was a very hard experience, but I learned a lot and I would love to do that again.
Yeah.
I regret not having done those, but I'm going to do that sooner than later.
You're going to rectify that regret.
I will rectify the regret, yes.
And then where do you see yourself from here? Obviously, doing all those projects.
Yes.
Raising your son. But where else do you see yourself? I always like to say this kind of 5, 10, 50 years.
Okay.
That old woman sitting on a porch wise,
Yes.
Where do you see yourself in those next phases of your life?
Okay, in 5 years, I still see myself in LA. I do love LA. I'm still really digging it. I know some people are like ready to get the heck out, but I'm still digging it. In 5 years, I see myself having at least made one film, continuing my theater company.
Yeah.
Because with this AI age, I think live theater, live performances, like there ain't gonna be nothing like it.
So true.
Finding a better flow in my art and maybe having a second child.
Okay.
Maybe having a second child. Wait, 5, 10, and 50? Wait, what was it?
5, 10, and 50.
5, 10, and 50. 5, 10, and 50. In 10 years, I would love for the hustle to be out of me completely. I would love to still pursue my art.
Yeah.
But to be going at like to have more hobbies. Like maybe now I'm into gardening.
I get it. I totally get it. I don't have a green thumb, but I want to.
Right,
I want to so badly.
I want to try at a couple of plants.
Yes. You birthed a child. Like, I think you can have some plants that grow.
True.
I think you got this.
Maybe. And to have traveled to every single continent, because I still have not gone to South America yet. I would love to go down to South America. Or Australia. I haven't been to Australia. That would be a plus. So like a slower pace. Like now that we're 10 years, a decade later, we've had this rush of life. Maybe the kids are a little older. So
Remy will be 11. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Ooh. Yeah. So maybe there's like a slower pace of, okay, I've done a lot, but like now let's do more things that are like tangible and different. And then in 50 years, I would love for my kids to feel as satisfied with their lives. I would feel success knowing that my kids are strong and healthy and living in alignment with whatever it is that they want to do. And maybe knowing that a few pieces of my art that's out there in the world touched a few lives, I'd be very content. And then hopefully Frankie and I can be old together, like The Notebook.
Such a good reference.
Side by
side. Would you want to be in 50 years in LA still?
I don't know. I've always loved the Central Coast of California. Like maybe the city life. The thing is, I have a neighbor who is in her upper 70s, and Anna Maria, and she is fabulous. And she just still like walks the dog and like has the best posture and like carries on a great conversation where I'm like, I wonder if like being in like a city is like really good when you get old, like being around people and keeping you physical.
That's true. That makes sense.
But also there is this romance of going back to my roots of not like it necessarily it being the South, but like spaciousness and a little more nature and like the quiet maybe.
Yeah.
More stars in the sky.
I get it. But I think it's interesting that you brought that up. I think there is probably some truth to like when you're young or when you're older, being around kind of like the vibrance of the city, you know. I think it probably does something.
Yeah.
Jodi, this has been so amazing.
I know. I feel like
what were you going to say?
I don't know. I feel like I just talk.
No, it was amazing. That's what you're supposed to do. This is your story.
True.
I want to do this like really cute thing right now.
Yes.
Do you want to snap with me?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. So you wanted to eat. You wanted to do it again. That was so great. You wanted to eat crispy rice and spicy tuna. Magically appeared in front of us.
Yum. Gosh.
I love how
this could happen all the time.
Oh my God. Imagine that. Wasn't it when you were taking the ayahuasca, like you thought of something and it was there?
Yeah, I just had flowers coming out of my
Like
fingertips.
imagine if you were like
my gosh.
crispy tuna or crispy. I always say it backwards. Crispy rice, spicy tuna. And I always want to say crispy tuna, spicy rice.
I probably texted it to you incorrectly. I don't even know what I said.
No. I say it all the time like that, but please dig in.
Yeah. This just seemed like a really nice summertime delicacy.
Did you have any cravings while you were pregnant?
So in the wintertime,
Yeah.
I could not get enough of like a gooey cheese moment.
Oh.
Like mac and cheese or like a burger with melted cheese.
Yeah.
I also really enjoyed citrus. And in the summer, I couldn't get enough melon. I just wanted like cantaloupe and watermelon and also like stone fruit, like peaches and stuff.
It also feels like you were kind of eating for the season.
Yeah,
Like you were
it was very seasonal.
Yeah, you were like craving things that are actually to the surface and that are born. It's hard to eat around the mic, sorry.
It's okay.
You can move my thoughts in too. Okay, are you ready for this rapid round? I'm going to take one too.
Oh my God, yes.
I think I got to do it this way though, because I don't want to touch all of, I just want to, there we go. I do the eel sauce. So,
It's okay. I should just drizzle it on it, huh?
oh my God, I can't believe I did that.
It's okay.
Oh my God.
So good. Worth the wait.
Oh my God, it's so good. I need a moment. Oh my God.
Hitting the spot. It was either this or French fries. I needed something crispy.
Honestly, both are good options. This is epic. Okay, focus, Danielle. Have another bite after. Please have another bite if you'd like. I mean, yes, please. Are you ready for the rapid round?
Bring it.
Morning person or night owl?
Morning.
Text first or wait to be texted?
Oh, text first.
Romance or respect?
Respect.
Planned or spontaneous?
Spontaneous.
Comfort food or fine dining?
Comfort food.
Forgive fast or never forget?
Forgive fast.
Talk it out or walk it off?
Oh. Well, the thing is, I walk it off to talk it out. So I guess talk it out. Always talk it out, yeah.
Soft life or boss life?
Soft life or boss? Soft life.
Beach vacation or city escape?
Oh, beach.
Homemade meal or 5-star restaurant?
Oh my gosh. Homemade meal. I love eating out though. I will tell you. I'm such a foodie, but
Same.
there's something about like, I guess if I had to choose.
Yeah, like a home cooked meal.
Yeah, I also love cooking. Sorry. Anyways, I just had to say I'm a foodie, I promise.
I get it. You cry in private or in public?
I've cried in public. Public, yeah.
Lover girl or independent queen?
Lover girl.
Sweet revenge or silent success?
Silent success.
Slow burn or instant spark?
Instant spark.
Stay loyal or match energy?
Match energy.
Glass half full or half empty?
Full.
Chase the dream or chase the bag?
The dream.
Subtle flex or loud win?
Loud win.
Intuition or logic?
Intuition.
Be chosen or do the choosing?
Do the choosing.
Stage theater or on camera set?
Oh, wow. Stage theater.
Write the essay or perform the dialogue?
Perform the dialogue.
Deep reflection or pure spontaneity?
I think I'm a deep reflector.
Echo Park theater nights or cozy evenings at home?
Oh, gosh. Echo Park Theater nights, come see my play.
Trust the script or follow your curiosity?
Follow your curiosity.
Nursery quiet or backstage energy?
Backstage energy.
A raw personal essay or a complex character arc?
Complex character arc.
late night writing session or pre-dawn coffee?
Late night writings. I know I just said I'm a morning person, but
that's why this makes this hard.
I know.
But if it was a late night writing session.
Yeah. I do like a late night writing session. Okay. Late night writing session.
We can also contradict ourselves in different situations.
You're right. You're right.
Unfiltered truth or poetic storytelling?
God, these are so hard. Poetic storytelling.
Create to express or create to connect?
To connect.
Do you think you're sweet or savory?
Probably sweet. I'm so nervous.
You're actually sweet. Yes, by one.
I
was like, wait. I was like, you almost got 15 out of 15. And I was like, wait, no, that way. You are sweet by one. What's funny is I don't think anyone has gotten you on that first round, because you can't tell that they're rounds, but that's 3 separate rounds. When it was like the morning person all the way to like the homemade meal 5-star restaurant,
Yeah.
You were like so sweet, which is like, are you a shot? Because it basically, the first one is like, as a person, are you sharp? I can't speak. Are you soft or are you sharp?
Okay.
So as a person, you are very soft, but then your personality leans more, under pressure specifically, leans more savory.
Okay.
And then as regards to your life and what brings you passion and stuff, you're basically down the middle of sweet and savory, the way your numbers worked out.
That's cool.
Yeah, a lot of people are all over the place, but it's like so clear that like personality-wise, like, or who you are as a person, the soft sharp, you are soft.
I have soft edges.
This has been absolutely amazing.
I know.
Jodi, thank you so much for wanting to come on the podcast.
Oh my gosh. I was so excited when you asked. Honored.
It was such a pleasure to have you. And you really, I mean, you inspired me in so many ways, but a lot of the things you said actually resonated with me on such a deep level. I'm really going to take a lot of what you said with me, I think, throughout life. So thank you.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. I love having you in my life.
I love having you in mine. I wish I did it more. Thank you, Jodi.
Thank you.